Hi, my name is Aleksander Kroiter, and I work right now with AWR at their booth at the Convention Center 2025. I was actually born in Israel, Haifa, grew up in Canada, and eventually married and moved to Florida. I became an Adventist because of my mom. She was the most influential person in my life. What's interesting is that when Soviet Union collapsed, my grandmother would learn about different faith in the Christian denominations, from different denominations. And what ended up happening is that she came across books of Ellen G. White. And she started reading it and she couldn't stop. And one thing she realized is that the true church is a church that follows all 10 commandments. And so as she started to explore every church, every denomination, she eventually realized that the Seventh-day Adventists had the truth and they were preaching the true gospel. So she started sending books from the Soviet Union or from the Russia that just came out of Soviet Union, and she was sending it to Canada. And so when my mother received those books, she started to read those books of Ellen G. White, and eventually she also got caught up on interested in those books. And eventually she started sharing with other people. And she started also jumping around different churches and trying to find out, like, what do they really believe? She went to Baptists, she went to Pentecostals, and eventually her too was convinced that the Seventh-day Adventist Church was the true church. And eventually, the entire family, we went together on a Sabbath. We were welcomed, people were super friendly with us, and we felt like we were part of a larger family. And so as a result, we've been in the church for maybe another 4 to 8 years. And eventually we got all baptized on a single day. And so we all decided to make that commitment. And that was a huge transformation in our lives, because we weren't bad people, like we weren't Satanists, but we had a very healthy environment at home. We ate vegetarian, we were polite to each other. But when Adventism became a part of our life, it played a very crucial role when I was growing up as a teenager, when there was a lot of influences from the crowds and the people I was hanging out with. There was a lot of people that were into drugs and sex and other spheres, gambling and stuff like that. And God kept me on the very narrow path. If it wasn't for that journey that my mom and my grandmother had, maybe I wouldn't be here today. Maybe I would have been in a different place. And so I'm grateful for that.